Well, happy Friday, Jay.
Welcome, Laurie. Welcome to the Today Show. This is Friday. This is our special bells and whistles show today. We're very excited. Before we get started, I've been really doing the analytics on our Facebook page along with our different social media platforms. And I say this show, I want to thank our viewers. Yesterday's show regarding the Veterans D-Day. Wow, what a show. We had pretty much 300 downloads in less than 24 hours. And that's just on our Facebook page. So thank you to our viewers, our listeners, our supporters for supporting our show. The word's getting out. I'm getting bombarded by the USA. The USA is bombarding. I got an email from an organization that represents Mr. and Mrs. Military Universe. So they're Mr. and Mrs. Universe.
Wow.
In the USA, and their whole focus is to create this pageant so they can showcase prevention of suicides.
Oh.
It's just amazing. So they contacted me. We're gonna be bringing
Awesome.
on Mr. and Mrs. Universe Military of the USA. So this is great. There's so many good things on. Why don't you announce who's on the show today, Laurie?
Well, we have two very special guests today. One, we have Kimi Modiri coming in from New York City, right downtown. And she's a budding filmmaker, finance person. She's done so much, I don't want to steal her thunder, but that's our first guest. And then after Kimi, we have the amazing Jeff Jones coming to join us as well, musician. So
So let me just say a little bit more about Jeff. Now, I've known Jeff for a long time. He was on my show back when I was with that channel, probably about 15 years ago. But this gentleman is a member now, the bass player for the Carpet Frogs, who is the band for Burton Cummings. But he has such an extensive career, from Red Rider to Tom Cochrane to Rush to the original founder of Ocean. And he's got a wonderful new single coming out that we're going to talk about called Velvet Sky. So I just wanted to give people a little bit of a preview of who we have on today, because it's Super Friday, right? This is more like an entertainment bells and whistles day. So
yeah, because our other shows, are really rich in content, and sometimes it can be a little heavy. So we just decided Friday's fun day, casual day, and let's get into the arts and people who are doing fun stuff. So what we're going to do, because I don't want to take up any more of Kimi's time, we're just going to do a little 30-second break, and we'll bring Kimi in from backstage. And also just to showcase that there are opportunities now, because we've established ourselves for advertising and sponsorship. So if you have a cause or you have a product or something that you want to promote, this is where we would do it. So for today, we're just going to watch a bunch of snowflakes floating up in the air for 30 seconds. And we'll be right back after this potential message, I shall say. Welcome back, everybody, to the Today Show. I'm Dr. Laurie Davis, and my host and boss and the big cheese is Jay Stoyan, is joining us today for a fun Friday, and our very special guest, Kimi Modiri. And Kimi's coming in from New York City this morning, and I don't want to waste any time, but I think what we'll do, Kimi, is we'll just start with you sharing with us what you're doing right now. What are you involved in right now? You're in school, etc. Over to you, Kimi.
Yeah, so currently I am studying film, and then I am minoring in finance. But I think the finance part came after I started to go into film. And so I don't know, I think the way that I'm learning finance and film has become equal at this point. And I'm trying to pursue my master's in quantitative finance now to help with my film career. But yeah, so I've been just making and producing films on the side. I don't know, I've found a great enjoyment in them. It's been great, yeah.
Well, tell us about the most recent film, because I heard through the grapevine that you have a little film that you've produced. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I wrote this one script called The Javads, and it's kind of like a satire on like Iranians, like in a very like silly way. It's a very silly kind of thing. Almost think of like a reality show kind of.
Okay.
It's about like 10 minutes. And it just kind of started because it's just I recently got into film, and another one of my friends, he's studying econ, but he's always had this like passion for film. And I was like, and he was like, I've always just wanted to produce, and we've been in some like producing classes together. And our other friend is, he is permanently just in film and TV. And he was also looking at the script, and he's like, I really like this. So I was like, why don't we just all make this into like a short film, and just see how we all like work together and stuff. And
Okay.
yeah, so we just got on board. My one of my friends was fully producing it. He started casting everyone. I wrote it, I AD'd. And so I was also like booming on set too, and like doing special effects makeup, because it was just such a small space that we couldn't have like a large crew. And then my other friend was just solely like directing it, and he did the shot list and organizing, and it was so great. Like I don't know, like I was just like, wow, the fact that like someone went to bring something I wrote to life, I think, because
Yeah, that would be amazing. Jay,
yeah,
do you have any questions for Kimmy?
Yeah, Kimi, thank you for being on the show today and sharing your film experience. This is great because we have a lot of viewers that are in the arts on our platform that are very interested in hearing other people's stories. So I'd like to just start by asking you, how did you get the bug? How did you get the bug for film and television?
So it's kind of like a long story, but so I um
Go ahead.
Give us the overview, and then I got a follow up.
yeah, so I did my first year of college in London, and I had this one professor, and like she was incredible. But for my final, she was like, listen, this is a great piece, but I think you're a bit too opinionated and expressive for journalism. And I was like, you know what? That's very true, because I think I was just more giving my more commentary than anything. And I was like, I think that if I love writing and I love expressing, like, I think I need to go somewhere more creative. And so I also had taken a creative writing class, and I think it was a bit too abstract for me. So I was like, let me find like where there's a common median. Um, so one day I just took this dramatic writing class, and they taught us how to write a script, and I fell in love. And to kind of get into that program, you have to apply again. So I was like, okay, if I get in this, I'm going to be set. I'm going to focus on this. And the more that, I got into it, the more that I got into film, because, scripts and film. And I was like, you can't only just be a writer in the film industry, like you have to know everything around what's going on. So I just started taking I picked up a business minor in the entertainment industry, and that led me to financial management. And then that led me to producing, and that led me to like all this stuff. And the
So
more,
like a MacGyver, you're like a MacGyver. You do a little bit of everything. Now, I don't know if people know this, but you're attending NYU, which
yeah,
is very prestigious school when it comes to the arts. So congratulations on that. And I also want to touch on, because you said you like the finance, and we all know that without a budget, nothing gets produced. Everybody has great ideas, but if you don't have a budget attached to it, it just sits on the shelf until somebody comes along. So when you talk in finance, because I'll just give you a little bit of experience, because I've been in the business for about
yeah.
25 years now.
Oh,
And recently, my better half, if you want to say that, my better half, she's a number one accountant in the television industry. So she's a first accountant, and
yeah.
she the first accountants in the accountant department, besides the lead actor, they are the most important sector on set, the accountant. So when you say that you have an interest in finance and you're a writer, you could write your own script, your own show, movie, television, and be on the finance side so nobody rips you off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like
the goal. Like I just, I don't want to, I think I just want to have, I want to have the autonomy to make what I want.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
like factors.
And you have NYU to put on your resume, which it works wonders. Like it's such a competitive business, and they're all, well, not all, but they all lie. They all exaggerate, and they all, so, but here at the channel, we're a totally different thing, because what we do is all the innovative projects we create, it's all about jobs for us. So we give all the jobs we can to our graduates, who are production graduates. So this is great. So I would love to, I mean, we're not ending, but I'd love to keep track of your career and support you and and maybe create something with you through our graduates. And that would be great, something like that. But yeah, you have to keep us in tune with what's going on with your career, Kimi.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I would love that. Thank you. That's so kind. Yeah, I would. That means a lot. Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Well,
so go ahead, Laurie.
I have a question for Kimi.
Yeah.
Because Kimi, how does a California girl get to New York City? Now there's a movie with a first generation Iranian background. Dad immigrated here when he was just a kid, and now California brought up, and then now New York. I think there's a story there.
Yeah, I think the area that I grew up, I was just like, this isn't my only life. There's so much to see, and I had been invested in New York University, but I had never been to New York before. Like I had never even been to the East Coast. And I was like, I really like that NYU focuses a lot on character. And I was like, maybe I might not have been like a superstar like student, but like I feel like that I did have a story to tell, and I feel like there was some character in there. So it was like I was really invested in it, and I took a pre-college class before I applied to NYU to see if I even liked it, and I'm honestly getting goosebumps. It's an experience I've never had before. Like I really loved the professor we had, and like I took a writing class, and like it was everything I had ever wanted. Like there was I think the area that I was like, a lot of similar opinions were there, and I was like, I don't think this is my only life. I think I have to go somewhere else that there's always life around, there's always energy. And New York is the perfect place.
I love New York. I never want to leave. Like I'm literally trying to apply to graduate school just so I can stay here. Like, cause I'm like, this is phenomenal. It's so great. Yeah. But
can I jump in and ask about now, because I know off the air we were talking about, because your dad has quite the extensive experience and history in film and television and dealing with investors, the whole gamut of Hollywood, if you want to call it that. Yeah. How can you share a little bit of dynamics, how your dad has helped you, how has he shared with you, how's he sort of, like just a little father-daughter experience, because you guys are kind of in the same industry a little bit, right? Like, so tell us that if you want, Kimi, please.
Yeah. He honestly is probably the most supportive person I've ever met in my life. Like, I don't think I've met anyone like him. Like, there were times that I was like, are you sure that you want me? I was like, are you sure it's okay that I go into the arts? Like, I was like, are you okay with that? Like, and he was like, yeah, like, do what you want to do if this is for you. Like, and I was like, are you sure? Like, I can pick up like engineering, like I can pick up some science. Like, I know I was good at bio, like I can do that. And he was like, no, like, I think that your writing is a gift and you should pursue it and just keep doing what you're doing. And you know, no matter what, like I never feel judged. I never feel like, like every time, like I kind of get a little insecure. Like I'm like, am I failing you? Like, am I, And he's like, no, like just keep doing what you're doing. Like, and
Do you
I
use your dad as a sounding board at all? Like, has he helped you through any questions? Any like, oh, Dad, I'm not really too sure on this one. What do you think I should do, maybe, or does he
like,
stay out of that?
like in like my life choices or just like
No, like in your film, like in your film career.
oh, well, like I know this fall that I'm taking like financial accounting, and he's like, "Oh, let me go help you with that. Like I got you." But but in a lot of things that I have taken, like I think it's just more trusting
Yeah.
self.
Good upbringing, right? You're
Yeah,
on your own. Yeah, good upbringing. He knows that you got it. You're solid. If you have
yeah,
to go to him, he's there for you, right?
yeah. Like so, he's just been 100% with me. But I think honestly, just any questions that I've had, the more I get into finance, like he's done a great job of just, giving me a step by step because he knows the way I think, which is perfect.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, he knows my lingo. So, I've been
that's
just
great.
watching, yeah, I've just been watching YouTube videos and like, and he's just been like, oh, like I would recommend this, like just like a few tricks here and there that I'm like,
Um,
okay, yeah.
Well, I have a question for Jay. Jay,
Okay.
are you looking for some parenting tips as a dad?
I'm always looking for parenting tips. Always. Why not?
Maybe-
I might not take it, but I'm always listen. I'm always willing to listen. I'm pretty
You have a daughter.
I've always been a pretty black and white guy, except for with my daughter. Like she I don't know. It's like she's got me. But not to the point where she's got me, but yeah, she's kind of got me. Well, she's a good kid, right? My daughter's a good kid, and we brought up. She's a swimmer, right? So she was in the pool, national swimmer. So she had no time to get in any trouble because she was in the pool twice a day for 3 hours a day each time. She got no time. That's it. Go to school, go swimming, go to sleep. So she's a really good kid, but she's kind of just like you, Kimi. I'm sure you're just like your dad. My daughter's kind of like me, and she's really, really tough. Like,
Oh no, there's not going to be two of you in the world. Oh my God.
oh no, yeah. I just
Okay.
let me ask Kimi. So, what is your favorite genre? What genre do you like to write in?
Ooh, I love, oh my God, it's like I'm torn between two forms of like absurdism and naturalism. Like I love, like I love just very absurd, dark humor, or
Oh,
I
I
just
do
love
too.
like naturalism, like humane, just anything like a bit, it touches on humanity with some weird comedic yet dark undertones. Like I
Okay,
really like that. Yeah, yeah.
nice. I like that. Yeah, I like asking writers, what their favorite genre is, or where do you get your inspiration from? Do you get it from life experiences, or like where would you get some of your ideas from, Kimi?
I think that I really just whatever comes in my mind. I'll
Yeah.
think, oh, like this would be an interesting thing to write about. This might because I'm a big character person. I really like, like analyzing a character in a movie. So like a really interesting character gets me and I'm like, oh, what if this character experienced this and this and like just common human experiences. I feel like the more they unfold, yeah.
Like Laurie was saying, like from Iran to California to New York, I mean, you probably do have a lot of experiences to share because those are three very different destinations, right? Sort of thing. So, do you still connect with her, like people from Iran, like lots of family members and all that kind of stuff and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so this summer I am like working with this Iranian director who lives in the Netherlands, because he writes a lot of like Iranian biopics and stuff, and he is just phenomenal. But I just my main intent was always to be an undercover journalist and go to Iran and like
Uh oh.
help the people. But
Uh oh.
then again, like I was like, you know what, I can still do that, but I could write a movie because I feel like that would captivate people more, like I feel like people just want something instant. So I just feel like a short film
I think that would be wonderful with the right take, right? Like with the right take on it, I think that could be a wonderful documentary or film or series. Or I think that's, and then because you could also add in the North American flavor, right?
Oh yeah.
So that might be a very dynamic, but again, you got to be a little careful, obviously, right?
Oh yeah.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. But that's
it.
This is great. Back to you, Laurie.
Yeah. So I'd like to ask Kimi, and it's Iran, by the way, Jay. Us Canadians, we say Iran. We used to say Iran.
Oh,
but,
sorry.
Ramin, correct. Like I picked up on it when I was speaking with him initially. It's Iran. So just for our viewers to educate you out there culturally, because it's important.
I said Iran. Did I say Iran? I guess that's
Iran. Iran.
Or American. Iran.
Iranian. Kimi, what do you see as the ideal job or career for you? What would you like that to look like? Do you want, have you given that any thought, or are you still just entrenched in your educational package? But it's like asking you, when we grow up, what do we want to be, right?
I always see myself as a writer. I've always seen myself as a writer since I was a kid. Okay. I would love to write like an amazing movie. Like I would just love to write a movie that, I don't know, that connects with people like a lot. Like I don't like something that you can't just forget. Like I don't need to win an award. I don't need millions of dollars. Like as long as I know that I became like a writer that could put out something that connects with people, I think that's all that matters to me. But I would also love to produce my own things and just work. I think honestly, just a very independent route is what I would like. I don't see myself in an office. I don't see myself I think honestly, just fully getting into the arts and writing what I love to write, and just hopefully going somewhere in that.
I have a question for Jay.
Okay.
He thinks he's the interviewer, but we're both interviewers. Jay, would you please share with Kimi Flanagan's?
Oh, okay. So
listen to this.
Yeah, okay, but so I wrote a film script back in 2002 called Tale to Tell. Wow. And it was based on my life growing up, but it's fiction. But if people read it, they'll go, "Oh yeah, I remember that, and I remember that." But it is fiction because it was written for Hollywood, and you need the bells and whistles, right? And you just, talking to your mom and dad just doesn't do it. So you got to add some bells and whistles. So long story short, I shopped it around in Hollywood. It got sent to a publisher. The publisher called me and said, "We'd love to turn your script into a novel." I said, "I'm not paying you." And they said, no, we're going to pay you. And I went, "I'm in." And Tale to Tell turned into Flanagan's Life Inside an Irish Street Gang, just remnants of my life growing up in Scarborough, a tough part of Toronto, dealing with the underworld a little bit. And now it just got picked up last 2 months for a television series. So it's in pre-development for the major streaming networks by AMG, which is a subsidiary of Sony. So right now we're just putting the investor deck together, and we got investors on board. And it looks like now I'm an executive producer on it, but I have Sony or AMG. They're like this is what they do, right? Film, television, and music. Yeah. So it's also going to have a soundtrack in there with a song that I wrote called "Shining Light." But it's all about street gangs, the bikers, and the mob, right? So it should be, I don't know, like it's in development. So who knows? It could be coming out within the next year, and we have some big stars hopefully going to be attached to it. So we're right in the same ballpark. So I'm a writer too, but I didn't think I was a writer because I spend most of my time in the park. But back in the day. But yeah, so I'm a writer, so that's why I really have an interest in what you like to write and how you get your inspiration. And it's tough, right? Like it's not easy. You gotta keep on plugging away. You gotta have super thick skin. Like I tell you, Kimmy, when I started out in the business, I used to check my own emails to make sure my email was working because I wouldn't get any emails for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? Like I'm sending out all these emails to people. No one's getting back. Is my email working? Let me test. Yeah, it's working. Or I would go to meetings with producers, Hollywood producers that were in Toronto, because Toronto, they shoot a lot of films here. And I had a few people that set me up, but they said, Jay, I'll set you up with a call, but you're on your own. So I would go to these meetings, downtown, and I was broke, but I would go because they wanted me to some fancy restaurant. So I would go, and they wouldn't show up.
Oh,
they wouldn't show up.
Oh,
So I had to call them and go, did I get the date wrong? Like, I know I didn't get the date wrong because I've been waiting for this meeting for 3 weeks. So, but because I was told by a very, very, very successful Hollywood producer. He said it straight up. Jay, you need me. I don't need you. I got 6 scripts on my desk, but I don't have a book. I don't have a book on my desk. I got scripts. You got a book. Come on through the door. But after he hugged me and shaked me and said, yeah, I'm going to help you, he said, Jay, when I asked you that first question was, this is what I think it needs, Jay. Nice script, but it needs this. And your reply was, I'll do whatever it takes. And he went, boom. That's what I wanted to hear. Because if you said to me, oh, well, I think it's this way. Okay, you don't need me. Get out. Mm-hmm. Like that's how they are, because they tell me straight up, Jay, I drive a Lamborghini with a 5,000 square foot home in LA. I go to Costa Rica every week. I don't need this. You need me. I don't need you. So unless you're willing to do almost anything, not anything, almost anything, maybe we got it. It fell through. I put my book on the shelf for 10 years. I created the Disability Channel, and boom, 20 years later, here comes my book for a TV series.
Yeah,
never give up.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Never give up. And don't listen to the naysayers or the eye rollers. Because when I got into this business, Kimmy, I was a corporate guy. I sold my business at 32, and my parents said, what do you want to do? And I said, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. And I said, well, I've had a pretty interesting childhood growing up. Maybe other people might want to hear that. And everybody went, what? What? What are you talking about? Like, you have no experience in film and television. So I can go on and on, Kimmy, but we should talk.
Well, we'll have to just bring you. Yeah, we'll have to just bring you on.
An amazing story itself. Like,
yeah,
like you should write about that too, about how you just like persevered.
But you got the scars. I mean, I got the scars, and I got the door slammed on me, but I just opened up. I tried to open up every door.
Okay, Jay, I'm going to ask Kimmy one last question. We've got to give her time because time for Jeff to come in.
Okay.
Kimmy, would you just take a couple of minutes and just share with our viewers, or other young people out there who have a dream, like we just heard Jay's, and I've had lots of dreams and made them come true also. But when you're young, when I remember when I was 22, I was teaching school at the time, but over to you, just words of encouragement to your fellow students, your family, just anything you'd like to close with.
Yeah, I know that it's, like we're at the point where it's like we kind of need validation to like know that we're good, that like we're good in the arts and this is like the right path. But like my biggest advice is like, do not listen to anyone. Like, people are going to say you suck. People are going to say your writing isn't good. People are going to say this isn't good. But like, just keep doing what you're doing. Get feedback. Like, get good feedback from people that are very intelligent, that you can trust. And that's all that matters. If one of your teachers say that you aren't good enough, who cares? Like, just say, go watch me do it. You just need to just keep going. Just keep climbing. Like, if you if a first draft isn't good, like that doesn't mean that your writing sucks. It's more your revisions that make it better. And just like, don't listen to anyone. Just listen to yourself and listen to the good feedback around you. And that's all that matters.
Kimi, thank you so much. And I think, Jay, are you sure you're not related to Kimi? Like, maybe you and Ramin are brothers and you don't know it.
Maybe we're gonna be working together. Hey, I might need a writer on my series.
That's
you never
right.
know.
I would love to write. I would love to write. I would love to read your book. I would love to read your book. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
So Jay, we're going to bring in our next guest.
Okay.
Jeff Jones. We're going to take a little break.
Yep.
And this is when, if you have a book, if you have a product, if you have a cause or an event, and you want to advertise it with us here on the Today Show, this is when we would do it.
Or if you want to donate too, donate towards our employment programs. That would be great.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, so we'll just take our little break and be right back with our next guest. And Kimi, please stay with us and get to meet Jeff. Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Today Show, and I'm here with my boss, my big man, my guy that guides and directs me, Mr. Jay Stoyan, founder of the TBC channel. And our first guest, Kimi Modiri, is going to sit in with us as we talk to Mr. Jeff Jones. So over to you, Jay, to introduce Jeff to us.
Well, thanks, Laurie. Yeah, on the show today, we have a very famous Canadian legend musician, a bass player. We have on Jeffrey Jones. Now, I've known Jeff for probably about 15 years. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
This is great. Now, Jeff was back on my show at that channel. Do you remember that, Jeff? Probably at Bay in Dundas. What was that, like 10, 15 years ago, maybe upstairs?
Oh, maybe 18.
18. Wow. Now, before we get into your illustrious career, do you remember who you were with during that? Were you with Paul DeLong during that time? Do you remember? Or Sil Simone?
No. I think, well, I mean, I was definitely with Tom Cochran and with Burton Cummings for the last 20 plus years.
So you were playing with them. I wonder I can't remember who you came to the studio with, because you performed in our studio. And it wasn't with Burton or Tom. I know that.
No. So, yeah, what did we do?
I remember.
I think I had a record out then, and I came and just whipped off a number there.
Speaking about a record, now I did check out Velvet Sky. Congratulations. That's wonderful, Jeff. Wow. So let's tell our viewers about Jeff's career. So Jeff goes back he's a founder, member of Ocean. Now, people would remember that band, but they'll sure remember this song, Put Your Hand in Your Hand. Like, that's a classic song, Jeff. Like, wow. So original member of Ocean, Red Rider, and Tom Cochran. And my brother, I talked to my brother this morning. He's a big Rush fan. So he's asking me about, Jeff, he was a member. Like, ask him when he was a member. Like, was it before what was that song? Midnight, 8 o'clock. What's that song like with the first drummer on it? After Midnight?
Yeah, but when so it was before Rush was recording.
Before Rush was recording.
Yeah.
You were the bass. You were the bass player.
Yeah, we were kids in high school. Me and Alex and John Rutsey, the original drummer before Neil Peart, and So I mean, people like to say Rush, and they like everything about Rush, so they kind of make a little more of it than it really was.
But still.
Alex,
So did you and Alex kind of go to school?
No, but we met through people at our respective schools, and they said, you guys should try playing together, because we were playing, we were covering Hendrix and Cream and blues stuff. Yeah.
Was that now that was after Ocean or prior to Ocean?
This is prior
Prior to
14, 15.
Prior to, wow.
Ocean at 16.
Tell us about the Ocean experience now.
Oh, okay. I was a young kid that was lucky enough to get involved with some older musicians, older to me. They were 23, 24, 25 when I was 16, 17. And we put out this song that no one really knew that was going to happen. The idea was we were going to get, a little better price on our high school gigs around Southern Ontario. And the next thing you know, it's a worldwide sensation and 3 million units. Yeah.
What, and how old were you when this song was when it hit?
17.
So what was going on with your family, like your parents, like and your friends? Like, what were you thinking? Like, what is happening here? Like, where did you go? Where did you go, like in the atmosphere from that song, sort of thing?
Well, my dad was a professional musician. He was a very accomplished jazz pianist, and he always tried to dissuade me from being in the music business. He never taught me anything except for to be respectful, of course. But he never taught me any music. And he sort of said, but there was always music around. There were, Oscar Peterson would come to our house for dinner.
Wow, really?
Yeah. He was connected with all, the great jazz musicians of the time. He was the only jazz musician in the city of Chicago that I ever heard of that never smoked a cigarette, never drank a drink, and never had a drug.
Wow, very nice. Now tell our viewers what the song was. The name of the song.
Oh, put your hand in the hand. Put
that's
your hand in the hand of the man who still the water. That's the one.
Keep going.
Well, Anne Murray sang that too. That a lot of people recorded that.
We scooped her.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, she hated us because she had recorded it on an album, and her record company told her, I don't think it's a single. And our record company said, take a listen to this song by Anne Murray and just cover it in your own way and see what you think. And we just did, and as it went up the chart, and she was pretty angry because the only hit she had at that point was Snowbird.
Oh, yes.
See, this is baseball, inside baseball talk that people just love to hear. Like it's just crazy. Okay, so now take us through the Ocean concept. Like, where are you going after Ocean now?
So then,
You're okay. You're here.
Am I okay?
You're okay. Yeah, you're okay.
Just trying to get rid. There we go.
Yeah, you're okay.
My computer was crazy. So after that, I ended up actually the day that we folded Ocean, Ronnie Hawkins called me in my hotel room. I don't know how he knew that we had decided to pack it in.
Hold on. Ronnie Hawkins knows everybody. Like, oh my goodness. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And, and I already knew him a little bit because there was a time when Ocean would play at the Friars Tavern in Toronto, and Ronnie Hawkins would play upstairs at the Nickelodeon pub, and my dad would play downstairs in the piano bar.
Wow.
So we had the experience of running up and down the stairs, and he took me to meet Ian Tyson and all this kind of stuff. It was really
really exciting. Fun
yeah. So I knew him a little, but the day that we decided to pack it in with Ocean, the phone rings and he said, well, Jeff, young Jeff, you always call me young Jeff. Would you like to, you play with me in my band? He said, I can't afford to pay you much, but you're going to get more than Frank. He said, you'll get more than Frank Sinatra. Like he told Robbie Robertson.
That's great. Now, did you go play with him?
So I played with him for a year. Jack DeKaiser was one of the guitar players.
Wow.
And King Biscuit Boy was in the band. And it was a year of rollicking fun.
So was that like compare that like to the band era? Was that the same type of like era with it when he got Robbie Roberts and all those guys, or prior or
They
after?
had left about 5 years before.
Okay. Okay.
5 years or more.
Okay.
They had moved on.
Okay. So then take us through the Ronnie, which by the way, he was very nice to me too. Sil actually introduced me to Sil and Chris Partland. They
Yes.
introduced me to Ronnie. And Ronnie didn't know me from Adam, and he was so kind and generous and nice to me. I you know, it's so sad that he passed away, but I'll always remember how nice he was to. He doesn't even know who I am.
Yeah.
Right. So I got to give a big props to Ronnie.
Big
sure.
props to him. Yeah, he was the first person that I came off stage when I won a Juno in '91 or '92 with
wow.
and Infidels. And when I came off the stage, I saw two people: Brian Adams, who just said, "Congratulations, man, that's great."
Wow.
And Ronnie Hawkins, who said, "Son, big time, just around the corner," like they told me in '62.
So that's kind of like a slap on the back and an applaud on the back. Like, you know, you think you're going somewhere, but it's going to take you another 15 years.
Yeah.
Well, that's a friend of mine in a movie, in a television industry. I'm gonna bring Kimi in to ask a question, but before I do that, the producer told me, Jay, you're going to be a 15-year overnight success.
Right.
Oh,
right.
no, it takes 30 years.
Yeah. So why don't we bring Kimi in? Kimi is from NYU. She's a film and television student, but I'm sure she's been listening. So Kimi, if you have a question for Jeff, anything that you want to ask him, maybe something relative to the entertainment business, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering, how did you know that like music was the right choice to like further your career in?
Oh, well, I mean, it was natural for me because of all the music that I heard. And then when I started to pick up instruments, like I played flute in school, and then someone gave me a baritone ukulele, and I tuned it like a bass and started picking out bass lines. But I found it fairly easy to pick up by ear. And so, you know, it was, I never thought that it was going to be a career. And my father always tried to dissuade me from that. But once I started doing it, and then I had initial success, then that is like honey, you know, that is like, it gets you, you start to realize that you can. And that with a little bit of more work, I got away with the first few years of not really having worked that hard to have that kind of success. You know, I practiced my scales, don't get me wrong. That's what got me in with older people. I could perform on the instrument, I could sing. But what kept me in was the realization that, well, maybe I could make a living at this. Maybe I can have another success. So I've been a one-hit wonder many times now.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Thank you, Kimi. So let's talk a little bit, because I want to talk obviously about the Carpet Frogs, right? Like that's the band that you're playing with now. Let's talk about them. So tell us about the Carpet Frogs, then I'll go back to Burton and then Red Rider and Tom Cochran. So tell us about what you got going on right now with the Carpet Frogs, Jeff.
Oh, we're just we're doing spot duty, and we're getting ready for some summer shows with Burton and a big fall run in the U.S. with Burton. And so the last 6 months, neither Burton nor Tom have done many live shows, and so that's what gave me the opportunity and the time to do some of my own stuff. But those have been my staples, those two gentlemen, and I'm so blessed to be able to have worked with great songwriters like that, so that now when I sit down to write music, I know the things that work and I know the things that don't, and they don't have to be. I don't try to be like them because I have my own personality and my own ideas, but there's certain things about the way that the greats go about writing a song that I've had privy to insight.
I'm sure you have. Now I see on your schedule that you guys are in Toronto on June 15th, perhaps.
Yeah, that's the annual Carpet Frog boat cruise in Toronto Harbor.
Yeah, that's just you guys. That's not Burton, right? That's just the band, right?
Yeah.
So tell us now. I want to tell our viewers that Sam, which is I guess your guys' manager, was very nice to invite me up to the show up at Wasaga Beach. What, a couple months, maybe a month and a half ago?
Yes.
Sold out show at a brand new venue. We were backstage with Burton, super nice to us. We met him, talked to him a little bit. Hopefully, we're going to be doing some things in the future. Right now, we're just sort of ironing out some details behind the scenes, but that experience was great. Tell us what is so you're sort of like you got your own band, so Carpet Frogs, but
Right.
You're a hired gun for Burton when he goes on tour. You guys are the backup band for Burton, and Nick's an amazing singer, by the way.
Yeah, he covers a lot of territory.
Oh, he's a great singer. Now, do you also do the same thing with Tom? If he goes on tour, will he give you a call and you'll go out with him sometimes? Or
Yeah. I mean, Tom and I go back to 1979, so
wow.
for some reason we can't seem to shake each other.
So were you on all his albums? Were you on all of Tom's albums, like from Red Rider right out to Life is a Highway kind of deal, or no?
Only the first 4 albums when it was just called Red Rider.
Red Rider.
And then I was not for the Life is a Highway period of time. And then in 2002, we teamed up again, and it's been ever since. How many years is that?
Wow, that's a long time. That's great.
Years.
Now, did you ever work with Syl or no?
No, Syl was with Tom when I wasn't.
Okay.
But I know Syl, and I've done a couple of side things with him, and oh god,
he's a great guy.
Fun.
He's a really nice guy.
Very talented.
Were you on Lunatic Fringe?
Yes, I was.
Wow, classic. Why don't we do this? Why don't we spend the last couple of moments on your new single, Velvet Sky? Maybe Dr. Laurie or Kim can ask a question, but why don't you tell us about Velvet Sky and your solo career, Jeff, a little bit, please?
Okay, thank you. I enjoy talking about the
yeah,
history,
of course.
But it's really for me, it's really refreshing in recent times to be able to kind of step into the world of being creative, not just recreating the old stuff, which we honor.
Yep.
But I went to.
That's okay. You're good.
Latvia.
Yeah, that's your badge. Yeah.
To the NATO base in Latvia with
nice.
The frogs, and we were entertaining troops there. And spending a couple of days hanging out, having lunch and dinner, basically embedded with the NATO.
Wow.
And oh my goodness, it had an effect on me and my view of the world, because we were sitting 200 kilometers from the Russian border after they had invaded Crimea.
Wow.
Starting to beef up the Latvian portion of NATO and Estonia and Lithuania, because the fear was now they're going to just go around and try to take over other countries, like we're seeing in Ukraine now.
Yeah.
So anyway, it affected me in a profound way, and I started thinking about things, and it just taken this long to this song really means a lot to me, and in regards to yesterday's events from 80 years ago.
Yes.
So I try to not make it. I don't like to tie to any particular movement, but I do honor not only our veterans but anyone that serves their country. It's so amazing to me. And so this song really is about the
Wow.
mistakes and the fear that you would have if you're a young person being in a strange land and not sure what the outcome. Sure, you're training, you're using the equipment, you're hoping that you're not going to end up having to battle, but that possibility exists. And so I internalized that feeling. And,
Wow.
and so there's a lot of emotion in this song.
That's so insightful. Thank you for sharing that, because I don't know if you're aware, but our platform is all about supporting veterans through our employment programs and media. So that's what we do along with my song. So I'm really excited. Like, so this song has a little bit of a connection that you feel to the veteran community.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. See what music does. Music. And I say that because a lot of the veterans that we have on the show, they say without music in their lives, because they're all amateur musicians, or some are professional, but they all pick it up and they say, without the guitar in my hand or whatever, I don't know if I'd be here. Yeah. So I really thank you for sharing that, Jeff. And I'd really like to further involve you with information updates and maybe involvement when it comes to veterans. I think that would be fabulous.
Without a problem.
That's great. Laurie, why don't you ask a question, and Kimi, and then we'll wrap the show if that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Jeff, it's a real pleasure to have met you. I'm from Nova Scotia, so I'm Anne Murray country, you see.
Okay.
Right. I live in Alberta right now, but originally from Nova Scotia. And of course, she has a big museum in Spring Hill and all that kind of good stuff. Right. But we're probably of the same vintage. And so all of the bands and the music you're talking about has rung a beautiful memory bell for me today. Mm-hmm. So thank you. And I love music too. I don't play an instrument, but music has always been a big part of my life. Oh. And dancing. And thank you so much for being here today. And what an honor to meet you. And I don't really have a question. Just my feedback.
Kimi, do you have anything last minute to say before I wrap the show?
No, just tune in. We're on.
No, Kimi, just ask Kimi.
Kimi, excuse me. I'm sorry.
When do you think that you write your best music? Like, do you feel like when it's like you're going through something and you want to express yourself, or when you've like processed your emotions and you're like, this is what I want to write?
Yeah, it really it helps when it's a bit raw, and so you're actually feeling it in the moment, and you jot down a few ideas. For me, and then I have to ruminate with it, stay with it for a while before I can get particular about the form that it's going to take. But I look at, a lot of music that's made today is made by committee, and we co-write, but we don't, I'm not going into a room with 4 or 5 or 6 people that I don't know, and we're every day of the week pumping out 4 ideas and then picking the best ones. I am from the belief that if you listen to Gordon Lightfoot's music, his songs come from a place of inspiration. You can tell that he's thinking about an emotion and an inspiration. So I look for that. And sometimes it's hard because everything's moving quickly. And but I find that when it does settle down, when I come off the road for a bit, it's hard for me to do it when I'm busy. But when I slow down for 15 minutes, then I can sort of digest what I'm feeling. And so I'm working on a new song with a female writer named Brooke Paulson, and she's a fantastic young woman who I worked on a song of hers for a film. And basically we took an experience that occurred with my daughter, who's 23, and this and Brooke really related to that experience. It's sort of one of those experiences like Jay was speaking of earlier, where you have to have thick skin, and where my daughter came into a situation and people hadn't been that kind to her, and she had to go in and overcome. And then when she did a performance, she's a dancer and an actor, but this was a dance performance, and knocked it out of the park, and it changed the narrative about who she was for people that were detractors previously. But you have to kind of go through that. And anyway, that it immediately, because we've all gone through it, you know, so immediately started writing down how I felt, how I know she felt when she walked into that room.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Jeff. So before we let you go, and I do want to offer with our Wild Child Records / TDC Media, we would love to come out on location and cover you guys and maybe do a green room interview and give you guys, you know, all the positivity and awareness and showcase the wonderful music you guys are doing when you're in Toronto. So yeah, keep that open. And if people want to find out more about Velvet Sky or about Jeff Jones, where could they go, Jeff?
Jeff-Jones.com is the first place, the website. And there's about to be a YouTube thing set up, and the song is available, of course, on Spotify, Apple Music, all of those. And there are more to come. So there are a few already lined up in the can, and we're in process till the end of this year to have a complete selection.
Now I wonder. Now the song is already Velvet Sky is already out, right? It's already released, right?
The past.
So I'm wondering, during our last commercial break in our edited version, would it be okay to put maybe 30 seconds of the song into the show?
You can put as much of the song as you care.
I think I'm going to get my editor to do that, because then I want to send you the link, right? Because I want Mr. Cummings and Mr. Cochran and all the rest of the guys to know how valuable you are to their team.
Oh, I think they have an idea, but it's always a nudge.
Yeah, that's great, Jeff. We really appreciate being on today. We're going to get you back, because like you said, you have more singles coming out, so we'll be seeing you over the summertime. Laurie, why don't you take us out and we'll come back and wrap the show?
Take us out and we'll come back and wrap the show?
Yeah, for a quick break.
Yeah.
There we go. We'll be right back.
Okay. Welcome back, everyone. You've been watching the Today Show here on this beautiful Friday with our special guests, Kimi Modiri and Jeff Jones.
Yes, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Again, you can watch us on your home TV across the United States, our Facebook page live Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. every day. Be a guest. And you know what? You receive a gift prize. So check us out. We have a fundraiser coming up on October 12th. We have a lot of stuff going on with veterans. Enroll in our employment programs for persons with disabilities and veterans. And we'll see you next time on the Today Show. I'm Jay Stoyan and Dr. Laurie Davis.
Bye for now.
Thanks for having me.